I'm not even sure how to go into this next song. I feel like I really, really want to introduce it like an easy listening radio DJ guy that's just like, and up next we've got Necessary Evil by Motionless in White featuring Korn's Jonathan Davis. Up next on 93.5, The Breeze. So fucking stupid, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, I think that the biggest talking point about this song overall is, without a doubt, the usage of the It's My Party chorus by Leslie Gore. Yes, that's right, kids. Leslie Gore, not Melanie Martinez. Just YouTube Leslie Gore, It's My Party, and both our song and Melanie's song will make a lot more sense to you. Trust me. On that same topic, I think, side note, the most disappointing thing I've actually, not even side note, main point I probably should make in the commentary is the most disappointing thing I've seen the past year about this song is that people think that the lyrics are "It's my body and I'll die when I want to," and while I can see and hear how people would think that that's what it was, the actual lyrics, for clarification, are "It's my party and I'll die when I want to." So now you know, and we can move on to the next biggest talking point, which I believe is the guest vocals by Jonathan Davis from Korn. I think that was the most commonly asked question about the album is what was it like to work with Jonathan. So if you have heard the answer to this before, I'm sorry, but since so many people want to know, I figured this is the best chance to address it on a wider scale. I just reached out and asked if he wanted to do it, and he said yes. I sent a big, massive list of things that I would have liked to have him done, and just said, you pick whichever stuff out of this that you want to do. And he sent back the parts that he chose that he wanted to do, and I'm just still in moderate disbelief to this day that it's actually a real thing when I get to listen to this song and hear his voice and my voice come together on a Motionless track. I've said this before in interviews too. What makes this song extra special for me personally is I'm going back to, I think, 7th or 8th grade. I begged my parents to buy me a 7-string Ibanez so I could learn all the songs from the Follow Leader tab book and just play along with the CD since I was so obsessed with the band and the album at the time. And they ended up buying me an RG series 7-string like Hat and Monkey Hat. And it's just so wild to look back and think about being a kid just standing in my room learning Korn songs on guitar when I was in 7th or 8th grade. And now I could put Necessary Evil on and hear my voice and Jonathan's blended together in the end of the song or singing back and forth with each other. I don't know if many people in life get these amazing opportunities, but I'm just so grateful. And it was even better just knowing how much of a great guy Jonathan and all the Korn guys have been. And it's just such a special, surreal moment in life, and I'm really happy that the fans liked the coupling of the two voices and the bands coming together. I actually think that it's the coolest point of the song that you get to hear these two generations of somewhat of the same style of music coming together for one song. You have the pioneering generation and the following generation creating one track together, and it's just a cool way to bridge that generational gap. And as a fan of this style of music, I would imagine it's probably a pretty special moment for fans of this style and of this genre of music to get to hear a song like this and get to hear the evolution of the genre over all these years. So, yeah, I guess we can move on to the music. So, for the music of Necessary Evil, I started working on this with our very dear producer friend Mick Kenny, who we've worked with on previous albums, Infamous, Reincarnate. And Mick had the idea for the main opening riff of the song. And once we recorded it, I just remember laughing nonstop with him for like 20 minutes straight, because every time we would listen back and the song dropped in and the drums hit, we just kept getting up and like Spartan kicking a fake door in. We just listened to it like 100 times and air kicked every invisible door in the room. And it was just one of those like simple moments that really show how fun creating music and listening to music can be. I think this song is a great song that represents what Mick, Ricky, and I can do together. So I guess speaking of more of Ricky and how the song came to be, as I mentioned, Mick had created the main intro riff of the song, and I think I had like the rough verse idea, and we're just kind of playing with something, but it just didn't feel like it was going anywhere, or at least not where I thought that I wanted it to go. So I sent it over to Ricky, and I was like, hey, if you hear anything as to where this can go, let me know. And in typical Ricky Horror fashion, 2 hours later, I swear to God, like 2 hours later, he sent me an email back, and the song was basically pretty much done. Do you remember that? Do you remember?
I remember that. I actually was working on what is now the chorus and kind of the verse on my own as a whole separate thing. Chris was in LA working with Mick, and I was at home working on stuff on my own. And they were working on that song, and I was working on my song. And when he sent me the track, it happened to be literally the same tuning, the same chords and everything. And I was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna work out."
You don't say.
So we smashed everything together, and I think I pretty much just sent a giant rough version back to be like, "Here, what do you think?" And then I think from there, I had a whole long chorus that was way too long, and there was like half of it got chopped out, didn't need to be there, but Chris and Mick then refined it and put the polishing touches on it. So
he seriously just sent over, like, normally when we work on something we start with like a structure and don't really go for like the leads or the little finer details at first, and he just sent over everything, like even the little guitar and keyboard riffs in the verses all the way to the ones in the chorus, and it was just so cool to hear in, I swear, like 2 hours, just like the song pretty much done. All we did was just help some of the transitions, I think, and it was just it came together, and it was he did the exact same thing as some people remember with Unstoppable. It was just had the riff, had the main idea, but just couldn't finish it. Sent it to Ricky, and as I said, in classic Ricky fashion, sends an entire song back in 2 hours. I can't do that. I like work on something for 3 days straight on just one part and just focus on it so much, where you could just send a song in 2 hours. I just wish I had that ability. I
think it's just more just me being like, here's a rough idea, what do you think? And you're like, yes, that's fucking great. And I'm like, oh shit, it is, okay.
Send more rough ideas. So to cover the lyrics and wrap this up, there's a few meanings in the lyrics of the song, but for time's sake, I'm only going to focus on the main one right now and hope that this helps you understand the song better. The main overlying theme of the lyrical content is about taking total control of your life and building a certain level of confidence in yourself that allows you to approach it more aggressively. The lyrics are coming from a lot more of like a dominant and assertive perspective, and that's just because in my own life, I had just grown so tired of being the nice guy all the time and trying to treat every situation as though it would grant me the same respect, when really that's not been the case at all. That's not to say that I think I'm an asshole now, but I've just found that once I decided to take as much control of what was happening in my life as I could and stop giving a fuck about petty trash that once used to occupy my time and attention, I've just been in such a better spot mentally and have built a lot of confidence that I actually lacked throughout most of my life, and I just wanted that attitude to be expressed in the lyrics. So something I thought was really interesting about this song's lyrics that separate it from our other songs with similar lyrical content and a similar message is that rather than directing the message towards myself or a person or a group of people, in this song, anytime the word you is mentioned, I'm actually referring to life in general as though it has materialized into a physical entity. And in that, I'm speaking from a standpoint in which I'm specifically focusing on the negative aspects of life. I did that because I think it's absolutely necessary for all of us to experience negative life events so that in turn we can learn from those experiences and become bigger, better, and stronger than we were each day prior. So addressing life as you in this song really allowed me to direct that attitude that I mentioned right at something that we can all relate to, and do so in a way that really just says fuck you to being dominated by the many obstacles that it throws in our way. So another thing I guess is cool about that is that even though I'm addressing life as you, any listener can hear this song, and maybe there is something or somebody aside from just life in general that is bothering them that they really just want to have this attitude towards. And I think that's really cool that it could apply differently to each listener and what you means. And that's just, I don't know, I think it's really cool when a song can have multiple meanings to each listener specifically. And yeah, I don't know. In the end, I was really just trying to inspire the listeners to just join the party, take the power back into your own hands, have a fucking attitude, and be cocky to boost yourself up when you need it. Just be the fucking bad guy every once in a while, and most of all, have your cake and eat it too. You deserve it.